Might be time to panic on Austin Ekeler, especially if you are potentially capable of trading him away. If you could still trade in your league, then you've got some options. But if you own him, what do? You sit him, or do you run the risk of absolutely losing your mind if you throw him into your or throw him onto your bench and he goes off and rebounds? He said himself on his own podcast he needs to step up his game, but then we have some concerns coming from the coaching staff, and his head coach will bring that up in a minute. And Isiah Pacheco has been ruled out for week number 14, which means that you'll see a mix of both Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jerick McKinnon. Now, which one could outscore the other? CEH probably the better bet logically, right? Because he's named the starter. Andy Reid said he's a starter, but will McKinnon be ultra involved and outscore CEH? We'll break down all that and more. The Fantasy Football Show, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. edition. Friday edition begins right now.
FootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Smitty. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show, and we've got a little Austin Ekeler talk to discuss, so we'll go over that first. He's panic chamber material. We haven't done a consistent panic chamber episode every week, and that's on me. Next year we will correct that, and in the off season we'll be doing tons of panic chamber episodes, and maybe we'll do that like weekly, bi-weekly. But let's get into really the biggest panic chamber player for week number 14 and really moving forward, and that's Austin Ekeler. And that means our sponsor, Grindhouse, right here. Grndhaus. Grindhouse is an absolutely phenomenal clothing company that mixes hoodies and amazing t-shirts. Quality's amazing with old school movies like Godzilla, King Kong, Spider, and this is like my favorite sponsor that we've ever had in terms of, okay, so I got Underdog's my favorite DFS and fantasy football draft sponsor we've ever had. I love Underdog. I'm an Underdog guy. But when it comes to other brands outside of like the football, this is the one. This is the one I beg to come back every year. I absolutely love them. They send me amazing hoodies. Now it's getting colder. I can wear them at night. I'll probably wear them every single live stream moving forward. But this is a fantastic. The only reason I'm not wearing that hoodie right now is because I'm wearing my Box Score Bobby shirt. And these potentially will be on sale depending on the interest that I see in here. But Box Score Bobby shirts could be up on the merch store. And the merch, if you want to get merch, just head on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com/merch. If you want to get any of the Bijan Running Back 1 and all those shirts, if you want to support Breece's Pieces, etc., etc. We need a Gibby shirt up there. We need a Gibby shirt. We probably need this shirt. We'll do that live. And now,
you are entering the Panic Chamber, brought to you by Grindhouse. Vintage movie tees and hoodies. You are entering the Panic Chamber, brought to you by Grindhouse.
So, Ekeler is a big concern. But here's the thing is, like, if you bought him at very low pricing, I'm not worried about what you paid. And this is a player that I said to avoid going into draft day. Absolute avoid. Must stay away player. JT, Ekeler, Cooper Kupp. And while you heard me say that, I have said, and I still am right now in a sense, saying buying low on a player that we say to avoid drafting is not an unusual thing. So some people get confused by the message of the show, and the message of the show is very clear. It's adjust and adapt. It's take advantage of people that overpaid on a player and buy low and get them at seller dweller pricing. There are so many people considering benching Ekeler. If you're allowed to trade walking into kickoff, and there's about, I'd say 20 or 30% of you who still can. A lot of trade questions still coming my way. If you can still trade before this week, if people are considering benching him, he's probably next to free. He's probably flex value. And at that, I'm going to say buy. Now, if you own him, you can't trade, and you got him on your roster, and you got a guy like Keaton Mitchell. I'll be honest, Keaton Mitchell's got more upside right now than Austin Ekeler. I may play Keaton Mitchell over Austin Ekeler this week, and I think most of you probably will agree on that. But if I'm talking about weighing out a running back in a committee, we're talking about a very questionable player in his own right, and we're trying to put this man on the bench just so we don't see his face anymore, so we can wash our hands of him, I think that's the only mistake I think people would be making. Past that, I think there's still opportunity for him to rebound a little bit. He was in a void because he's 28 years old. And 28-year-old running backs that specifically have been high-volume running backs consecutively their entire career, meaning they're workhorse running backs. And you could say he's a different version of a workhorse. It doesn't matter. Workhorse to me, I'll give you my definition as I talk about it. It's my show. My definition of workhorse is a player like Kamara, a player like Ekeler, a player like Henry, any running back that's getting workhorse volume, not between the tackles, workhorse volume. And he's been getting fed workhorse volume his entire career. And when you get that kind of volume consistently, that is the running back, the top 5 guys, the guys in the 1 to 5, the 1 to 7, the top 10 running backs in general. Those are the guys that break down over time. And when they hit 28, it's a kiss of death. Could they somehow, some way have a good three-quarter of a season left? Alvin Kamara sat out the beginning of the year, was fresh. Great find, great buy, show guy, one of our biggest lands of the freaking season.
Alvin.
I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Let me get Ekeler down on this other screen, because I have Ekeler just kind of being annoying like he is right now in the field and just kind of staying in the way. Let's try this one more time. Let's rewind it back. Alvin Kamara was a league winner. Alvin Kamara is a league winner. Alvin Kamara is a show guy.
Alvin Kamara, a menace on the field and in casino elevators everywhere.
Run.
Don't forget to Kamara that like button.
Alvin Kamara is an outlier because his situation was different. Jerick McKinnon, Raheem Mostert, those aren't guys that have been getting consistent volume their entire career, so they don't really count. The mileage is different. The usage is different. The amount of time consistently a team leans upon them is different. That's a whole different monster. But 28 years old is the drop-off, the you run away. Now, Derrick Henry's been the outlier. Derrick Henry's 29. Derrick Henry did this anomaly thing last year, and he's kind of doing it again this year. Or he is doing it again. He's not kind of doing it. He's doing it. He started off kind of up and down. He's been at points very shaky. There have been times where people are like, Derrick Henry's completely busted. Now he's lingering inside the top, 7, top 8, definitely top 10, depending on your scoring format, non-PPR, PPR. But Henry is absolutely playing very, very good football still. Now, could he fall flat the remaining part of the season and then just completely tail off and disappoint everybody? That's been the fear of mine. That's what's most likely going to happen to Henry versus not. That's more likely than not to happen. I think Henry is going to potentially drop off. Now, he's the outlier, so if anybody's going to defy everything we talk about here today, it's him. Because he's done it already and he's doing it now. But Ekeler, the only hope I have for Ekeler is that he's been rested so much all year long that he does have it in him to do kind of what Zeke's doing. Push all in, all chips in, 4 games, give it his all, potentially putting his body at risk, whatever, to give more than he's capable of giving because it's a 4-game window. cram session time. I am starting him in a handful of leagues. There are very few leagues I'm sitting him in. I just can't sit him yet. If I've got Keaton Mitchell and I've got this situation here, let's say this is my running back 2 and I don't have a flex, or my flex is an amazing wide receiver that I'm not benching, then I'm definitely playing Keaton Mitchell. I think I have one scenario where I'm playing Keaton Mitchell over Ekeler, but I'm still starting Ekeler in a handful of leagues because the options are just as risky as Ekeler. And I don't think you should lose sight of that if you're toying around with sitting Ekeler for a risky, very risky, riddled option. Isiah Pacheco, as I said, is out for week 14. That means Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jerick McKinnon will be splitting the backfield. And if I had to guess, I would say that, yeah, Clyde's probably going to get the majority of the work. He'll probably have a good day. He could have one of those 100 total yards and a touchdown type of performances. And I've always loved Clyde, and I think Clyde's got a bad shake. It'll be kind of fun to see him like go nuts or something. So I'll be rooting for him. I do think that Jerick McKinnon gets a big uptick in production. I think Jerick McKinnon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire are sneaky flex plays this week. I think Clyde's a little bit better play, but you wouldn't be nuts to put McKinnon in your lineup, and you wouldn't be nuts to expect McKinnon to have better, or to hope that McKinnon had better stats than Clyde at the end of the day. But Andy Reid did put full weight behind, well, not full weight, behind Clyde Edwards-Helaire, saying he's our starter. Yeah, he's our guy. He's our starter. That to me was a good sign. It wasn't like he said, "Oh, we'll play both guys." You know what I mean? That's typically what a coach would say. Who's starting this week? We'll play both guys. They'll both get work. Then you're like, I don't know. But the fact that he's like, it's Clyde, that was very, very good. Plus, Clyde the last couple weeks has been getting some run. So I think Clyde's going to have a very, very decent day. So put him in your lineups. This right here, Kenneth Skywalker, potentially looking more likely to play than not at this point. If I had to say, I'd say something along the lines of like 55% though. You know, I don't think this is a case where Clyde feels like he's getting out of the questionable state and going toward the probable, but he certainly is. I feel one of these guys, Walker or Charbonnet, are going to play. And if I had to guess, based on what we're hearing, based on what I'm being told, based on the little birdies that I do feel I have out there that have a better perspective than most on this topic, I've got a lot of people I talk to. I've met a lot of people over the years. I got a lot of group texts. I got a lot of people that are not just fan pages. Like, you know, my boy Raj, he's very connected to Niner stuff. He's got connections. And so you hear things, you know. And so a lot of Niner stuff I do get a little inside info on. Some of it I can't share sometimes, and it burns me up. But in this case, I do have a couple Seattle connects, and I am hearing that the vibe's improving. But we'll have to see. And if he's starting, you're starting Walker for the most part. If there's some sort of like Keaton Mitchell or wide receiver like, I don't know, you guys will throw some options at me. DK, the same team. We'll go over those. We'll break it down. We'll do group vote if we need to. But I think that, you know, if you've been waiting on this guy coming back, it sounds like he could be on the verge of returning. So that's great news. And then that's pretty much all. I mean, there's some other news today, but those are the big pieces of news. And this one right here. So, God, I didn't even get to this. Back to Austin Ekeler. Head coach Brandon Staley said, competition for carries is going to be something you can see happening. You can see happening. I can see happening. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good at all. That's not good at all. You shouldn't. Number one, the offense is in flux, and they need to get back to some of the basics. And to hear a coach talk about taking carries away from their elite player that's been elite for a long period of time tells you that the coach even feels the drop-off is real. Now, Ekeler on his podcast, as I mentioned earlier, said something along the lines of, I need to step up my game. He ranked his top 4 running backs for week 14. He did not put himself first. He did not put himself second. He did not put himself third. Austin Ekeler ranked himself 4th. He ranked himself 4th on the week, which was still bold, but it was, to not put yourself one is not really that, I'd be telling, I know he's trying to give legit fantasy football advice, but how do you not say yourself? How do you not say yourself? Are you still injured? Like, why would you not say, I'm the number one running back this week? I owe it to everybody. He said, I got to step up my game. And I gotta deliver this week. I gotta do better. He even geared it toward fantasy guys. He has a podcast on this, and he said, I know that fantasy football championships are coming up here. Playoffs are coming up. I need to step up my game. I haven't been delivering. I'm running back 4. Running back 4. Like, that would be great. Everybody that has Ekeler would be ecstatic if he produced running back 4 numbers. But he's not that confident in himself, it seems. So there's a lot of concern here across the board. And again, told you not to draft him, number 1. Number 2, in some cases I told you buy low, and he hasn't been delivering. So that part is on me, and I apologize if anybody has him on their team and he's simmering and he's not doing anything. He's just sitting there on the back burner. But I do believe if you bought him low like I told you, no one said to go buy him at the draft day cost. No one said to go get him at the cost that I told you not to spend on draft day because he had bust written all over him. I do believe there is hope in the coming 4 games that at some point he can pop off. Now, maybe he pops off inconsistently. That's probably more likely than him having 4 straight monster games. But I do believe 1 or 2 of the next 4 contests, week 14, 15, 16, 17, 1 or 2 of those games, he could come away with 100 total yards and a touchdown. 1 or 2, hopefully 2. And then there might be another 7 or 6 point game, another 7 or 6 point game, etc., etc. Anyway, that's the news for now. It's not a lot today, but it definitely are 2 very impacting running backs. First super chat of the evening is from RM Laughin. Appreciate you. You get a standing O for being the first super chat of the night. And that's still on the way. Let me fix my cameras real quick and give you the proper standing O. Then I'll explain what that is. So last night we had another HN hater in here. And you guys got to cut them some slack. Some of them are brand new to fantasy. Like I think the guy last night. I think it's his first year probably, if I had to guess. And there are a lot of HN haters. And the HN haters just they just can't stand that they don't own them. And so last night he said, let's stop bringing up HN or something like that. Stop saying HN.
Motion detected at the front door.
And I said, Ziggy, show me the front door. I said, oh yeah? Okay. Stop saying HN. And then I said, how about this? The mailman here. I said, how about this? I started counting. HN, 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 HN. HN, HN. Devon, HN. And we just kept going. 45 minutes. You don't tell me to not say a player's name on my show. You don't tell me who to talk about on my show. You don't tell me what kind of content to produce. This is my show. I'll say HN as many times as I want. I'll talk up HN all day long, every day if I want to. And I proved it last night. 45 minutes. I said HN's name straight. HN, marking it off. You want me to do it again? You want me to start over? Now, some of you have said, Smitty, I would really, really like it if you would keep this board, auction this board off. And the answer is I'm not going to probably do that because this is my favorite board. And I can't, for the life of me, send this away. They don't even make it anymore. I've tried to buy this exact board. The way that it writes is amazing. So if I could have done it all over again, I would have done it very small all the way through. I would have made sure. Or we just would have done a counter, online where I just clicked the button or whatever. But this ended up working out great. I took a photo of it. We might be able to do some sort of like framed artwork with it. Like that still could be in the case, the cards, but I definitely can't. I definitely can't give this board away or frame it. Someone was saying auction it. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. Okay, let me hit these super chats and then we'll get on to more business and phone calls. 10-man, 0.5, 1 QB, 1 flex, Dak, Henry, Achane, Olave, Waddle, Lockett, Ingram, CEH, Aaron Jones, Sharps. Win, and I'm in, and he moves. He still can trade. It's crazy. It's so crazy a lot of people can trade. I like it, though. I like being able to trade. Dak, Henry, Achane, Olave. I don't think so, bro. If I could trade, I'd say, like, go get Diggs. Get Diggs, use a Waddle, use Ingram if you need to, use Aaron Jones who's coming back, use CEH if you can. Diggs would be the best go-get player, I think, in fantasy right now. Debo's so on fire, you can't get him anymore. The guys that are left of my buy lows are, let's see here. Let me see if I can give you a couple names. At wide receiver, Cooper Kupp, I think is still a good buy low. I still think he can deliver. Diggs is probably my favorite buy low. I think that you can probably get, let's see, I think Devontae Adams is still a good buy low. Like, would I give Lockett and Ingram or Aaron Jones and Higgins, like CEH and Higgins, like for Devontae Adams? That would probably be my two pieces of recommendation for you, pal. Is Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, but I don't think anybody's selling him cheap. I love Puka, but that's what I would tell you to do. And past that, your team's ready to go. You win, you're in, you're good to go. You got a good squad there. I like it. $5 hauler from Blackbeard. Happy birthday to Terry Roberts. Terry Roberts' birthday. Drop a little cake emoji in the live chat, please. We Smitty approved Terry's birthday.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Terry Roberts, happy birthday, pal. Blackbeard. Thanks for modding. Thank you, Terry, for modding. Kerry, appreciate your $5. Let me throw these on the screen. $5 hauler from Kerry. Bryson with the $4.99 hauler. Appreciate you, Bryson. Bryson with the $1.99 hauler. Bryson, you're the man, the myth, the legend. DeBalt with the $1.99. DeBalt, appreciate you, my guy. This is from, what's his face? I don't know why you don't change your name. Okafor. Because then I got to remember two of your names, bro. Your actual name and then your screen name. This one's Call Your Boy Loud. $20 hauler, my boy. You're going to get attention first for dropping that 20 watt on screen. Appreciate you. Rock Out, he's in the building. $2 hauler, thank you, Rock Out. And then Ibrahim with a $5 wad on screen. Appreciate every single one of you. Drop that birthday emoji and do it live. Call Your Boy Loud with the 20.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Okay, Call Your Boy Loud says, need a big swing this week. T-Law, Gino hurt. You taking Browning, Minshew, or Stafford? I probably lean Stafford, to be honest. It's such a tough. I just think that they're gonna have a good day. Matchups can scare me a little bit, but let me look at the consensus data and everything on this, and let's roll with a combination of that. So Browning, Minshew, Stafford. So let's see here. Minshew's ranked around 14 or 15 overall. Browning's around 16, 17, and Stafford's around 20. Stafford's got a very, very bad matchup against Baltimore, but I always say the Rams are very crafty and their offense is very hard to defend, and they show it time and time again. Ziggy off, and I just think that it's hard to assess what they're going to do against a defense. But if I had to say, I'd say Minshew's your safest. He's got a decent matchup. I think no matter what, he'll be throwing the ball. I think he has at least 1 or 2 touchdowns. Not that Stafford can't. Stafford's your high. You say you need a big swing. I guess I would go Stafford if you need a big swing. I don't know. Chat, what do you think? Tough matchup, but Gardner Minshew safer. I know you want to swing, but do you really want to swing? Was listening to your last stream at work. I was just walking around going Devon. Thank you, appreciate you. And flex DK or Henry. I'd probably say, wow, DK or Henry. That's a tough one. The consensus data on that one is probably going to be pretty close too. Henry is ranking in around, let's see here. Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's ranking in around like 30 overall this week. That's kind of low. 35 overall. DK's ranking in at 38. That's also really low, but DK's got a very, very tough matchup. I mean, Henry, it's tough. I would probably say give me Henry. And chat, what are we saying on this question here? Stafford. Rain seems to be lightening up for Browning. Yeah. I probably swing Stafford. Call your boy, but it is a big risk. It's a big swing. Minshew is 100% safer, bro. But I don't know that he has the upside, as much upside. You just got to pick. Do you actually want to take your swing with your quarterback, or do you want to be conservative with your quarterback? Get that 2 touchdowns and 200 yards. Minshew is certainly capable of doing more, but I would just say you got Puka, you got Cooper Kupp, you got Kyron Williams. I think Stafford's got an arsenal that I'm more willing to bank on. Sorry to bother. Just wanted an update on Garrett Wilson's signed jersey draft name. Ibrahim 13 on the Underdog. Yeah, we'll have an update. I thought I was going to have updates a little bit more frequent, but that's on me trying to push Underdog to get it updated. But they'll probably have an update the last week and the final week. So week 16 and week 17, we should have like an update so we can kind of, pump up the prize, and everything like that. Talk about who's going to win it, et cetera, et cetera. So appreciate you, Ibrahim, for your question and your super chat. Smitty, when will you send me to Mars? Let's send you to Saturn. Even better, Rockout. That's the furthest I could send you.
To Saturn.
Rockout's my main. So you just got sent past Mars, my guy. Oka first. Yo, Smitty, were you a JT or Clyde guy back in the day? I was a Clyde guy, admittedly. I liked Clyde a lot. And, he definitely busted on everybody that loved him. But the whole world loved him. He's a top 12 overall pick his rookie year. Just got here. I went with CEH, by the way. Devon Achan to the moon. Appreciate you.
Devon Achan, please report to your shuttle to Saturn. Your shuttle is leaving. Prepare for departure. Touchdown probability high.
Touchdown probability is always high. Double-digit probability. Just got here. Appreciate you, the ball. Hit that like button on your way in the door. Guys, we got 67 thumbs up and 244 eyeballs in here. Or Keaton Mitchell with my other start two. All right, that's a continuation of this question. Start to need highest ceiling to get most points for playoff. Flowers, Hall, Reed, Ridley, Clyde. I do like Reed a little bit this week, but I'm probably going to go... I'd probably go Brees and Flowers, man. No, you know what? CEH and Flowers. Those are your safest picks, and they both still have upside. Does anybody disagree on this one? Would you go... Oh, Keaton Mitchell. Would you go Keaton Mitchell, Flowers, Brees, CEH, Ridley, or Reed? Can you pick two? Keaton Mitchell, Flowers, Brees, Reed, Ridley, CEH. I'm kind of leaning... Flowers and Clyde or Flowers and Keaton Mitchell, but I gotta admit, Bryson, I'm almost torn, and I hate to do this to you. I'm not trying to get you to do another super chat tomorrow. I kind of want more time on this one. Definitely Flowers. Well, you could go Clyde and Mitchell. Definitely Flowers, Clyde, and Mitchell are my three. Those are my three. But let's see what the chat says. Maybe the chat will give you enough confidence to push it over the edge, but definitely think those are my three without question. It's really between Clyde and Mitchell for me. I lean Flowers and CEH. It looks like the votes are coming in. Flowers, CEH. Flowers and CEH so far. Reed and CEH, says Kentucky. Mixon over Brees at this point? Yeah, for now, Kerry, for now. The offense is putrid in New York, so definitely feel like that for the current moment in time. Anthony, appreciate you. Got 562 times 5 to 2180. So I told him if he'd calculate this, I would give him a free membership next year to the Fantasy Football Show. Email me, by the way, bro. This is The problem, though, Anthony, is I got several different numbers. A lot of people said 3,000 something. And so I'm not saying your number's wrong, but I'm still going to give you a membership for sending it. But I haven't counted, and I don't know that I'm going to. I guess we'll go with the average of the two people that I trust the most to count this up. And then whoever, and I'll look back, I did a screenshot. Whoever got the closest, I'll give them the other membership because I said I would do that. So, Anthony, appreciate you. 2180. Let me write that number down because that's what you had. But I had a bunch of other people count it. 2180. Okay. I had a few like 3,000. All right. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate you. I thought we had 5,000. That's why I put it in the title. I was like, did we hit 5,000? I put a question mark, though. Laughing. Appreciate you. Sit, start. My bad. Sit or start. My bad, Smitty. 10-man, 0.5. 1 QB, 1 flex. Dak, Henry, Achane, Olave, Waddle, Lockett, Ingram, Aaron Jones. Okay. So, Dak, Henry, Achane, Olave, Waddle, Ingram. And so you're just trying to figure out, like, Lockett, Clyde. Unless there's a wide receiver mandatory in Lockett, I would probably put Clyde in place of Lockett, personally. Or we'll have to wait on Aaron Jones, but I would definitely say, for me, Clyde over Lockett. Does the chat agree? Lockett or Clyde? Clyde or Lockett? Please vote. That's your only dilemma. That is your only dilemma. Assuming that everybody after... Oh, no, wait, hold on. 1 QB, 1 flex. Okay, so, yeah, I think it's 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, and a flex being Lockett. That's what I'm assuming, because you didn't put the lineup requirements, but the 1 flex makes me think that. And if you're talking about 1 flex after Ingram, if Lockett's your wide receiver, then I'm going to go CEH over Aaron Jones and Higgins. So hopefully you got a good pecking order there. It's going to be, if Lockett's a lock because he's a wide receiver and you need 3, then it's CEH. If Lockett is your flex, I'd probably go CEH. But we got to monitor Aaron Jones, but I don't think I'd trust Aaron Jones over CEH this week anyway until we see Aaron Jones back. D-Town, appreciate you, Smitty. Finkel is going to kidnap the Miami Dolphin. Okay. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Let's go. D-Town, appreciate you. Oracle, 9-4, 10-man PPR. Allen, Ayuk, Diggs, Bijan, Achane, Fergie, Flex, Nico, Bench, DK, Puka, Ingram, Elliott, McManus, Green Bay. Is McManus okay? Let me look him up, bro. Are you saying about, injuries, or are you just meaning, like, is he a good McManus? Another missed Monday. McManus 2 field goal attempts. So, I mean, if we look at kickers, bro, and I go leaders, kickers on the season, McManus is ranking around... I mean, he's pretty... Where's he at, bro? No, he's still ranking... Where's he at? I had a filter on. He's ranking like 3 or 4 still. And McManus' last couple games, 7, 13, 10, 3, 18. I mean, yeah, I'm still liking that. I mean, the tough matchup maybe just makes him kick more field goals. I don't know. I'm not worried about McManus. Have Buffalo for week 17 versus New England. Okay. So as far as your team, I mean, Diggs, Ayuk, Allen, Bijan, Achane, Ferguson, Flex, Nico. I'd be tempted to play, given the Jet matchup, I'd be tempted to play Puka over Nico this week. Or Allen Diggs, Ayuk, Bijan, Achane. So you can't move any of your RBs, and nor do I really want to. It sucks that you had Elliott on the bench, but what are you going to do? I mean, Nico's hard to sit. Puka's hard to sit over Elliott, walking into that game. I think you got a dilemma next week, because I don't know that Zeke's going to just repeat exactly what he did, but I think he will be used. I would kind of lean Puka over Nico. Chat, can we get a vote? Puka or Nico? Nico or Puka? Sauce Gardner and the Jets D for Nico Collins, or are we going with Puka, who has a tough matchup against Baltimore, but you know, there are a lot of weapons there for that Baltimore defense to be focusing on. It looks like somebody gifted some memberships here. Who did that? I got to pull up the stream on my iPad here on the side because it just doesn't, hard to explain. Let's see here. Live stream. There we go. We're live. Anthony gifted 5 gifted memberships. Anthony.
To the moon.
To the moon. Appreciate you. What are we doing? Puka or Nico? Nico or Puka? Again, Nico playing Sauce Gardner and the Jets. Tough. Puka, then Nico says Superfish. I just lean Puka slightly. Thomas, need the W. And any other week it's Nico, though, just so you know. Well, no, maybe not. I know they're pretty close. 265 of you in here. 75 thumbs up. What's up, Reebok Joe? I appreciate you being here, pal. Puka, Nico, Puka, Nico, Puka. Pretty torn group. Either way, you're picking an amazing player, bro. An amazing player. Thomas, need the W. Flex 3. JSN, Thielen, Hopkins, Mingo, Ford, McKinnon, Javonte. McKinnon's so hard to predict with this potential uptick in volume, but what if he doesn't see much at all? And Javonte, I want to start Javonte so bad each week, but we got to be logical. 13 carries last week, 48 yards. He had 3 receptions for 24, but he hasn't had a touchdown. He hasn't had a single rushing touchdown. He's had 2 receiving touchdowns this year, but Javonte has not had a single rushing touchdown. And he hasn't had one 100-yard rushing game. And his best game the last couple of weeks, we'll call it he had a good 82 yards in week 7, a good 85 yards rushing in week 8, then the bye week, and then 79 yards against Buffalo. 3 straight great games in a row in week 7, 8, and 10 with the bye week in between. And then Javonte just kind of dropped off. 37 yards, 65, 46. I don't think you can trust Javonte. Hopkins is hard to trust as well, but he's got the most ability to go get that 100-yard and 2 touchdown game. Plus, he had a touchdown last week and 75 yards, so I feel like the momentum's there to lock Hopkins into one of these spots. So Hopkins is locked in. Thielen, he hasn't done anything for a while, but you still might put him in there because he's maybe your best, I don't know, your best bet to maybe resurge a little bit. But I think I'd probably go Ford is hard to play. 9 carries last week, 9 carries the week prior. That's not good. And then pulling up his game log, Jerome Ford catches. Okay, that's weak. Catches a touchdown. Oh, did he catch a touchdown? That's right. He caught a touchdown though. Yeah, he's still involved. I'm going Ford. I mean, God, he scores. He's always scoring touchdowns though. That's the great part about Ford. I'm gonna go Ford. I'm gonna go Hopkins. And if it's me, I'm going to gamble on McKinnon here, but that's me. I know not everybody would do that, but that's my choice. If anybody would go with Thielen, speak up and let this man know Thomas needs your help. Thielen or McKinnon or other. Mike from Jersey, you're live.
Yo, Smitty, I just got 2 questions for 2 separate leagues. I traded for Pacheco before he got hurt, obviously. And so I need a flex spot. I don't know who to play. I picked up Jerick McKinnon. Right now I got him. That's my number 1 option, I think. But I also have Roshan. I've been stashing him all year, like you said. I have him, and I got Zay Jones. Which one would you pick?
McKinnon, Zay Jones, and Roshan?
Yeah. Who would you pick?
My instinct wants to say Roshan, but I'm just going to look up a couple things. It does feel like they want to see what he's got going forward. He got 10 carries last week. He did get the 5 receptions for 40 yards. But, yeah. I mean, they're capable.
Going off of last game, it's looking like he's taking over. I don't know. So
I just think that McKinnon's got that
upside.
Yeah, it's got great upside, but man, he could really crap the bed. He could absolutely crap.
Yeah, he could move around and give me 2 points.
I probably roll with Roshan, but I can't say I'm excited about it, bro.
Yeah, it's not a must win. Well, I'm in the playoffs, but if I win this week, I get a bye. So it's not like a must win, but it's like, so I kind of want to play for the upside. I don't really need to be safe. I don't know.
Yeah,
how would you play it if you needed a win to get to the play? Like, the rest of my team is fire, so like I could rely on them. But how would you play it? Would you go with the safe guy, like who's like Roshan's going to get more carries and everything, or would you go with the guy with higher upside in McKinnon?
Man, McKinnon's done nothing all year. I think you'd be more sick to your stomach if you sat Roshan when he's been getting work than banking on McKinnon to finally get work when he hasn't gotten any work pretty much all year. I'll probably go Roshan, but chat vote Roshan or McKinnon, McKinnon or Roshan. All right, bro, appreciate you.
And then, but can I get one more?
Yeah, hurry up. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I've been wanting to ask you this for a while. I have I want to start Saquon, David Montgomery. Those are my two running backs. I want to start CeeDee Lamb and Chris Olave, and then I have Devon Achane on my flex spot. So it's two flex spots. Now it's up to, I'm thinking either Puka Nacua or Jahmyr Gibbs. I feel like I have great options, but
I would go Gibbs this week, but bro, those are amazing options, and I don't know what you're what you're gonna do from week to week. You're gonna get real stuck every single time. It's good to have depth, but like, yeah, damn man, how do you put Puka or Gibbs?
PPR. It's half PPR. I feel like I have to start Saquon because he could mess around and get 25 carries. I got to start David Montgomery because it's half PPR. I got to start Devon Achane. So it's really up to Puka and Gibbs. I feel like. No idea.
Does anybody?
Maybe I could start.
Does anybody in the chat? Hold on one second. Does anybody in the chat think that they'd rather start Puka and Gibbs over Barkley? Like put Puka and Gibbs in and take Barkley? I'm not saying you want to do that, but I just want to see what the chat thinks. But I don't know, bro. Giants offense is so bad. But I do agree he's the only good thing going, and he definitely could have a big day. But very curious to see what the chat would think. I guess I sit Puka, this week, but I do think Gibbs has a big day. Some might say sit Gibbs until he bounces back, but I say Gibbs was like RB 3, 1, 2, 3 in 4 straight games prior to his little slump. So, but. Yeah.
Would you start Puka over Olave?
That could be one where you maybe switch it out. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. That one's tough. Bring that to me tonight. Puka tomorrow night. Okay, yeah. Sorry, tomorrow night. Puka or Olave, Puka. Let's decide on that. That might be your decision. I think you're right.
Yeah.
All right, later, bro.
All right, thanks, Smitty.
All right, hang tight, callers. I just got to answer these 2 super chats real quick. This one's from Little Nikki. Nikki, appreciate you. Wilson or Love? I'm going to go Love. Jordan Love's been on fire. Cup or Chuba? Chuba is pretty smart, and safe, but I would probably still roll Cup, personally. Ahead 18 points for the bye tiebreaker. I would go Cup. I know the matchup. Everybody's worried about it, but Chuba has been very, very good lately, but he also plays in an offense that I'm not fully 100%, thrilled about. So, and then Edgar with this one, Flex 1, London, Downs, and Jigba, or Mitchell. I would go Mitchell and swing Edgar, but make sure you're not a nervous Nelly, and that's going to keep you up if he gets 2 points, because he certainly could, but he could definitely crush for you as well. Okay, Niner Matt, you're up. You're live.
Hey, Smitty, I got 2 questions real quick. I'll get the defense one out of the way.
Hey, hold on a second real quick. Hold on a second. Let me just get this out of the way. I know everybody wants to keep this. I'm not going to keep it, though, because I don't want to get rid of this board. It was a good idea to frame it and auction it off or whatever. A lot of people are really excited about this board. but I'm doing it. I'm erasing it. It's tough. It's, tough decisions need to be made in life. I got to make an executive decision here. I need my board. I got to write on it right now. I've been waiting to do this. Is everybody ready? Is everybody taking their last screenshot? Here, let me get myself out of the way. If anybody wants to take their last photo, I'll just move myself out of the way. There you go. Okay. All right. Take your screenshot. There you go. It is being erased as we speak. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. Oh, that's painful. It's actually kind of like painful and satisfying at the same time. Okay. Away we go. All that work. 45 minutes of hard work. That Miss Smitty's wondering what in the hell I'm doing all night, yelling, Devon. Okay, hit me with your question, bro.
All right, Houston, the Texans defense or Green Bay? You got Texans against the Jets in the possible rain, Zach Wilson, and Green Bay against Danny DeVito. I picked up both of them, so
I'd probably go Green Bay.
Green Bay, okay. And then flex question, real quick. I just lost Pacheco, but I picked up Clyde. So my running backs are Javonte, Derrick Henry, and Clyde. Clyde's my flex. So would you start Clyde or Javonte? Those two.
So Henry and CEH probably.
And I also have Jerome Ford and Kincaid as possible options.
Ford's crafty too. I think that it's between Ford and CEH to go with Henry.
So start Henry and Clyde and my RBs, and then who would you start flex? Javonte, Ford, or Kincaid? And
I like Kincaid a lot, but I'd probably go Ford. Ford scores touchdowns. I feel like he's still involved, but you're not crazy to go Kincaid for safety. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Okay. All righty. Well, thanks, Smitty. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right, later, bro. Next up is Perps. Perps, my boy. What's up, Perpy?
What's up, Smitty? How are you?
I'm good, bro. What can I do for you?
Need your advice for 2 of my leagues if you have a second.
I think I need to find another marker. Okay, what can I do for you?
So in my one league, 6 and 7 need to win this week. And I have Breece Hall and Keaton Mitchell as my 2 starting running backs. I got Tajay Spears as my only other one, but Edwards-Helaire is available, and so is McKinnon. And I'm wondering who I should drop that I have on my bench to potentially pick him up.
Okay. Who's you got? Who's on your bench?
I got Kyler Murray, Amari Cooper, Deontay Johnson, Jahan Dotson, McBride, and Bass, kicker.
Extra kicker?
Well, the kicker's going for sure, but I'm looking to add some depth, I guess, because all I have is Noah Brown and Spears in my flex. Downs and Lamb are my wide receivers, and I had to pick up Everett for a tight end this week.
Deontay is probably the guy I would cut of Cooper, Deontay Murray, but you cut in Bass, of course. But Deontay is the worst player here. So, but as far as who I'd start Mitchell personally. It's risky. I hate being at the front of potentially a big load of disappointment for a lot of people by saying Mitchell this week. But the upside's there. I mean, it could miss, though. It could really, really miss, but it could really hit. Everyone's just got to be prepared that it's a big swing. We might connect on it and hit a home run, but it's definitely not, a lock. It wasn't like Achane last week. It was an absolute lock. This feels a little bit riskier, but it's huge. So that's my choice.
No, for sure. But I got Spears and Noah Brown in my flex because Cooper hasn't cleared protocol, and there's no guarantee that Brown's going to play.
I like Noah Brown, but Clyde is not a bad alternative if you want to go with a different approach. Clyde should get a lot of work. Instead of Noah, or you're saying instead of Spears? Oh, both of them in. Probably say leave Noah in and go CEH over Spears. But Spears is decent, but I would go CEH over Spears personally.
Okay. And then do you think it's worth trying to pick up McKinnon or just run with CEH?
CEH. Never know, though. Trust your gut.
And then go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
And then in my other league, I got Pollard and Mitchell as my starting running back. And my wide receivers and flex are set because I have Tyreek and Debo and Rice and Adams.
Okay.
In my flex. And then on my bench, I have Connor, Spears, Sharps, Douglas, and CEH is available there too. So I was going to drop one of those guys and add him.
Connor, you're not dropping Connor. Connor, Spears, Sharps, and who else?
Douglas.
Pop. I'd probably if I'm dropping anybody here, it's probably Pop Douglas. It's it's the offense that and then I pick up CEH for sure.
Perfect. Done deal.
All right, Perps. Appreciate you, bro. All right, guys, I got to get back to the 30 seconds. Ethan, you got 30.
Smitty, I'm a little insulted. The laces were clearly in, and Einhorn is a real woman. It's 2023. And
finish him.
You can call back in and call back in, Ethan, and try again. Al from New York, you're live. You got 30.
Hey, Smitty. So I ended up getting Noah Brown. I was wondering two things. Do I start Noah Brown over Keegan Mitchell in the flex?
I think because of the matchup, New York, I'd probably go with Mitchell this week. But I do like both of them.
Okay. And I'm starting Taysom Hill, but right now he's projected for 0. Right now, the next 3 up tight ends on my waiver are Isaiah Likely, Chig, and who's this guy? Brevin Jordan. And a bonus is Jawan Johnson. Which one of those should I go for in case Taysom Hill's out? Isaiah Likely, Chig, Brevin Jordan, or Jawan?
Probably Likely. Yeah, it just feels like he's got the most opportunity.
In case I can't get Likely, should I go for Jawan if Taysom is out?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Chig's okay. Jawan's okay. They're all similar. Brevin's not bad. If we'll see. But yeah, I'll probably say hopefully you just get Likely. Hopefully you're likely to get Likely.
Hopefully. All right. Thanks, Woody.
All right, Al. Later.
Later.
Yeah, I don't love those other options though. Ken, what's up? You're live. 30 seconds.
Hey, Smitty. I'm 7-6. Must-win week for me. I lost Pacheco. I need to replace them with either Ford, Keaton Mitchell, or Jerick McKinnon. I need your help here.
Definitely going to go Mitchell, but that's me. Again, you don't. This is like somebody saying, "Oh, I'm okay going to the blackjack table," and then they go to the blackjack table, and then they lose the money, and then they freak out, and they wish they never went to the blackjack table and played. Like you're playing. You're making a guesstimation on both these guys. Ford feels like he doesn't get enough work, but he scores touchdowns somehow, so there's risk with volume there. Mitchell, I like Mitchell. But
yeah,
they could hold him back, but he got more work. He seemed to be right on pace for about 50% of the snaps, I believe. I think he had more snaps than Gus, so I'm liking it, bro. I'm liking, and I think they want to see what he's got. I think they see HM,
I agree.
And they like, we got that.
I agree.
Let's see what we can do with it.
Shared money make no money.
Yep. All right, bro.
All right. Appreciate you.
Later. Let's go over to Amy. I'm sorry, you also have 30 seconds. Rules are the rules.
No problem. I got it pretty quick. So my starters are Kyron and Monty, and Collins and Lamb. And then my flex is I'm trying to figure out Barkley or Gibbs. Or do I switch around the other ones?
Man. Chat, Barkley or Gibbs, vote in the chat. I'm I'm going to go Gibbs
They were
because
50-50 when I asked.
You what?
They were 50-50 when I asked.
Okay, let's get one more vote.
On
Barkley or
chat.
Gibbs? I'm going Gibbs personally. I think Gibbs has a huge day. I think the two most recent games don't scare me off of the fact that he was a top 4 running back for 4 straight weeks prior. I'm going Gibbs personally. Let's see what the chat says, and then we got a Gibbs vote. They'll start coming in here.
And quickly drop the Ravens for the Saints. I need an upside because I'm going against a rough component. It's gonna be tough.
We're getting mostly Gibbs votes, by the way.
Okay.
I would say you said the Saints and the Ravens.
Yeah, like do I drop the Ravens for the Saints?
No, I mean even this week, even with the Carolina matchup, the Ravens are ranked higher, I think, across the industry. I'm not gonna try and play that for one week.
Mixed.
What?
Well, I mean, do you think the Ravens, they don't have the best matchups, so do I even bother keeping them?
I mean, they're a top 4.
They're good.
They're like a top, they're on the year. Let me see what they're ranked in this particular league right here. Every league's going to be a little different. They're number 2. On the year. I don't know what they're ranked on the year in your league, but I'm not going to drop them for 1 week.
About 5. About 5.
5. Okay, yeah, that's still really good. I don't drop them for 1 week. Not to mention, like, I mean, they scored 18
But
points.
This is my playoffs, and I'm against Etienne, Kamara, Jefferson, and defense of the Browns.
I just don't know that the Saints are going to outscore them this week, though, even with the matchup. So I don't think I'm going to cut them. Unless you had, like, I liked Indianapolis this week if they're available. They're number 3 in this league that I'm looking at here. They're behind Baltimore, but only behind Baltimore. They're number 3. Baltimore's 2. Your scoring format, I don't know where the Colts are, but the Colts are a good pickup and play defense, and hold.
Yeah,
but
like the Vikings, Chargers. It's not much.
Yeah, but you just can't. Don't think so short, like temporary with a defense like that. You have a top in most formats. Ravens are 2 or 3. You have a top 2 or 3 defense, so dropping them for 1 week would be a huge mistake. What you'd want to do is try and find a way to drop somebody else and pick up a temporary defense and start them. But to be honest with you, the Ravens are a top 5 defensive play this week. So.
Okay. I mean, I could drop. I have three quarterbacks. I've got Browning and Dobbs and then Tua.
I still play. I don't play the Saints over them, so it doesn't even matter.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Have a good one.
Let's see. Theo, you got 30, Theo.
Would you start the Colts defense over the Dolphins defense?
Dolphins are a good play this week, though. I don't like Levis, but yeah, probably this week. Probably this week I would.
And
I still love the Colts defense.
Would you start CH or Brandon Cooks over Swift or no?
No. I think
Okay,
the
thank
desire to get the ball moving on the ground for Philly this week, it seems to be real. Swift is, we thought maybe he got hurt at the end of that game. You said CEH and who?
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, I mean, Cooks is decent, though. Like, part of me thinks Cooks getting in the end zone seems so likely right now, at least right now.
Yeah, he's been.
But I would go Swift.
I still think Swift. Yeah.
Start your studs. And as for your defensive question, I'll be honest, man. I'm wavering on this one because I love the Colts. The Colts are on fire. The Colts are the hottest defense in football. Last 4 games, they've been exploding. 20 points. Like, this is a 20-point scoring defense right now. And they're third overall.
Let's start with the Dolphins, though.
It almost doesn't matter, though. Like, the Colts play the Bengals this week, and everybody's expecting Browning because he looks so good to not give the Colts a whole lot to work with. But keep in mind, the Colts score on special teams. The Colts can pick 6 a good quarterback. Like, Browning can go out and have.
Their best run blocker just came back, or not run blocker, running stopper.
Okay. Browning could come in and throw a pick six, but still have a very good game. Throw 2 touchdowns, have 300 yards, but throw a pick six. That's what I'm talking about. You can't just sit a defense because they have a solid quarterback on the other side of the football. But I think the Dolphins playing Levis this week, it's a really good play. It's a really good play. The Dolphins are right around 10-9 overall, and they're only about 15 points off total off of the Colts anyway. So it's not like the Dolphins are, just because they're ranking 10, are a much lower ranked defense. In Miami, the last couple weeks, let's see, they scored 12, 22, and 13. They've been on a tear. Devon Achane's been a difference maker. The defense has been able to make plays because the offense is moving the football, field position. It's a reciprocation, give and a take. Defense helps the offense with field position. The offense helps the defense with field position. And that's why the defense has been thriving, partly. So I would go Miami, but it's close, bro. All right, appreciate you, Theo.
Thank you.
Let's go over to Jake from Tampa.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? I'm trying to find a playoff defense, and somebody just dropped the Jets defense. Do you think it's worth picking it up for and maybe like drop Josh Downs or something?
Yeah, I mean, they got a really favorable schedule. Houston, Miami, Washington, Cleveland, New England. That's a lot of opportunity, you know.
Yeah, I have the Chiefs defense right now, and they have a pretty good schedule too. But I think the Jets have a little bit better schedule. And the only thing that worries me is that the Jets offense is just so bad that,
yep,
you know, the Jets defense will be on the field so much, so there's so many opportunities for them to get scored on.
It's exactly what I said about the Steeler defense. It's like, as good as they've been, it doesn't matter anymore. They're going to get worn down.
Yeah.
They're going to just, you know. So, I don't know. The Jets are okay, but I think the Chiefs are good enough. Like, you're really going to sit the Chiefs defense, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just my question is, like, is it worth dropping Josh Downs for a backup defense just in case?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the Chiefs haven't been scoring that much the last handful of games, though. Like, you could technically say...
I picked them up a couple weeks ago, and ever since I picked them up, they've had their 2 worst weeks.
Yeah, you can't really... You know, it might even be smarter to go Jets defense and drop the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, that's an option, too. I mean, I don't really need Josh Downs. Like,
Then do both and then make the decision. If you're never going to use Downs, who cares? Just grab both Ds and play matchups.
He didn't look great this last week either. So
I do think he could bounce back a little bit. All right, appreciate you.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah, thanks, Smitty.
Yep. Let's go over to Ethan, the negative. Then we're going to go to the Mars men who are on the phone, Travis and Rockout. So that's why I've been waiting. I'm sorry. I just want to get you both on the line together. Ethan, hit me with it. Let's give you one more chance. Go ahead.
Smitty, Ford, CEH, or if before Ford's 11 o'clock game, they say Walker's not playing, Charbonnet. Which one of those 3?
But the problem is we don't know if Charbonnet will be playing.
Well, he practiced fully. I think it's well, I don't know. I'm going by Yahoo, whatever. You know, fake news.
I mean, Charbonnet's tough to... Charbonnet looking good for Sunday. Pete Carroll expressed optimism. The only problem is Pete Carroll has been giving wishy-washy answers.
A liar. Yeah.
CEH is probably pretty darn safe this week. I mean, San Francisco's a freaking tough matchup, bro. I think no matter what, if you've got these options, I probably lean CEH. I think earlier in the show I said if you had Walker and he's starting, you play him, but truth is, we do need more information with someone's team, because if you've got a CEH and the guaranteed volume is there, I just feel like he's the better play. But and plus, what if there's a timeshare?
I didn't watch the game. Was Pierre Strong getting some playing time because Hunt's a little banged up, or what was that all about?
Let me look up Hunt and see what he's dealing with.
because I'll be the first to admit I'm being a little box score Bobby on that one. I didn't see it really.
I mean, Hunt got 12 carries. He averaged 4 yards a carry.
Probably because they were getting blown out and pretty far behind.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything to do with injury. Pierre Strong got 2 carries for 20 yards, bro.
Okay, all right.
Woo!
So it's just, I mean, all right.
Woo!
It's one of those. That reminds me, they should do for fantasy, like, why don't they ever do an announcer? The one time when you were complaining about Jaleel McLaughlin getting a 15-yard carry over Javonte, it was entertaining, you know? I don't know why they never have, like, a fantasy guy on the side or something. But, oh well. More Chris Collinsworth.
Ethan, appreciate you.
Yeah, all right. Have a good one.
We might need to call you Ethan the Resilient, not negative. You're not really negative. And I don't know why we ever called you Ethan the Negative. I really don't know. I think we should maybe.
Oh, there was some Arthur Smith stuff at the beginning of the year and some Calvin Ridley stuff. Which the Calvin Ridley stuff, he just gets thrown out of bounds a lot, really, from what I saw.
I mean, you're probably right about the Arthur Smith. Let's call him Ethan the. I don't know. I kind of like Ethan the Negative. I think it comes with a little expectation. You're gonna come in and rattle things up, and if you don't, it's like, okay, well, he was quiet today. All right, later, Ethan.
Yeah. All right, have a good one. All right, bye.
Probably on the money with the Arthur Smith commentary. Arthur Smith's gonna screw you all, and we're like, Ethan, you're negative. Get out of here. Ethan, the future, the crystal ball maker. What's up, Travis and Rock Out? You're live. Let's start off with Travis. What can I do for you?
Originally, I was going to ask that same question about CEH, Ford, and the Seattle running backs. But I was also going to ask, right now, how would you rank Monty, Barkley, and ETN?
I don't know, man. That's so close.
I know it's kind of a mess, yeah.
They're all like, how many do you need?
Well, put it this way: if I have ETN, we can still trade this week. Would you be trying to move ETN to get one of those two, or would you just roll with ETN?
Oh, okay, I got you. On the year, then we're not talking about just this week.
Yeah.
That's tough, man. Because Barkley's so talented, but it's just this. I hate his offense, man. Right. I feel like he's gonna crack. I probably lean ETN. I think Monty's maybe the safest one. Not to give you like a double talk answer or wishy-washy answer, but Monty's probably by far the safest one. ETN's probably a little bit more risky, but has a lot more upside. And Barkley's like something in between, but he doesn't have. He's probably going to be inconsistent. I lean ETN, but I mean, one game could change all that in a snap. But right. I lean ETN. I'd take the gamble on him.
Yeah, and I mean, Barkley has after this week New Orleans, Philly, and the Rams. Pretty tough matchup. So
yeah,
they could just stack up the box on him, I suppose. I mean,
yeah, I
was just thinking, like, I guess he could be great, but he could just get 6 points and be done too. So.
And he's injury prone too.
Right.
So on top of that, how you call in? Hit that number in the bottom left corner there. Hit that number in the bottom left corner. Thank you for your super chat. Appreciate you dropping that. Let me go back to the super chats here. So thank you, Sween, for dropping that. Mike says start 2 Puka, Olave, DJ Moore. I go Puka and Olave, but DJ Moore is hard to sit. I mean, those are all really, really close, but those are the 2 I pick. If the chat disagrees, vote. Need one flex: Hopkins, JSN, Mitchell, Chase Brown, Charbonnet, or Roschon. I would go Mitchell, but that's high risk. You want a little safer option? Go with D-Hop, I think. And then, guys, let me put this caller on hold here. 914 caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Calling from New York, and my name is Dylan.
Dylan, what's up, Dylan? Let me come right back to you. Actually, what do you need, Dylan? We'll give you your 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was just calling because I'm currently sitting at 5-8, and I need a win here to make the playoffs. Right now, I have Mahomes, Jacobs, Waddle, Olave, Kelsey, and Cook. And then on the bench, I have Kupp, Javante, Portland, and Lund, which I wouldn't think would factor in there at all. But I'm looking to make a trade possibly involving Nico Collins and Jahmyr Gibbs. And in that trade, I would be giving up Jacobs and Sutton, and then possibly some extra defenses. Would you think that would be worth it, considering Jacobs' matchup this week or in the future?
So say it again, Nico and Gibbs for Jacobs and what?
And Sutton, and then just some extra pieces that I have on the bench here too.
Like what? What are extra pieces to you? Because I don't want to say yes to this.
Just like a Gino, because I picked him up.
Gino?
So he couldn't have him. So
You're going to get rid of Gino?
I'm giving him Gino just to add with the trade. I have Mahomes. So I don't even
That's
need
fine.
him.
That's
and
fine.
he's not really in playoff contention. So.
Yeah, Gino can suck it. All right. Let's see here. Jacobs, Sutton. So Jacobs, I think I'm taking Gibbs and Nico and running. Like, this isn't even close to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't think Jacobs will have the same upside that he did, let's say, like last week? You think he'll go back to more of like the high touch, but
I think he could be really good, but Gibbs was, as I've said, a couple times on the show today, he was the number 1 running back, the number 3 running back, the number 4 running back, the number 3 running back in back-to-back weeks, 4 weeks in a row. And then
okay. And then what would you do explaining those duds he had the 2 most recent weeks?
What do you mean?
Like what is there? Like why did he have those duds, and can I trust him in the coming matchups?
I mean, I can't really answer that. I don't have the answer to that other than they just didn't have a good game script for him. Jacobs had 39 yards and no touchdowns in week 11, 2 weeks ago. 1 catch for 12 yards. I mean, he's also had ups and downs. So it's not like, I do think he's been very steady lately, and I think the changeover in coaching staff and their game plan, the quarterback, swap out, all that stuff has been very, very good. I still like Jacobs, but Nico's a baller, bro. I think that you might be underestimating that Nico's a low-end wide receiver 1.
Like, would you start him over Waddle this week?
This week, maybe not, only because he maybe faces Sauce Gardner, and it's like that's only going to happen once in a while. But I mean, Nico's a baller, man. He's an absolute baller.
Okay.
I mean, he's. I mean, maybe this week's going to influence some people into thinking, okay, maybe with Dell out, he isn't the guy. But this is a tough matchup. After this week, Nico could drop 100 and a touchdown like every week, the remaining 3 weeks. I love Nico. Sutton's been pulling in touchdowns. I mean, we need to give Sutton his flowers a little bit and not just be disrespectful. But I just think, like, if I'm drafting right now, I'm taking Gibbs over Jacobs. It's just the way I feel. You can feel Jacobs over Gibbs, and I wouldn't blame you. But Nico's a pretty big difference maker.
Right. Okay. And it's half PPR if that factors anything.
Yeah, it makes Jacobs a little bit more valuable, but I still love Gibbs, and he's still scoring massive amounts of points. So I don't know. It makes it a little closer, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
But trust your gut,
you still
Dylan,
think
because
it's
only you need to trust your gut because you're the one dealing with this, and it could be 1 week. Gibbs could go out and get 4 carries next week, and then this coming week, and us all feel differently about him, or he could go out and be running back 1, and we're all like, he's running back 1, moving forward. It could go 100 different ways, man. Fantasy football is fickle. I try and be I try and not be as fickle with my advice, and sometimes I feel like I have to calm a storm of people that are granted going to overreact because a player doesn't do well right away. Like think of Jordan Love. Like trying to calm the storm on Jordan Love during a slow drought.
Right.
You know, I don't think one game's going to influence me to think Gibbs is going to be bad but the fact is, to me, I'm taking it one game at a time. I don't sit here and go, his last 2 games is a trend. He's going to be garbage. I just think that, you know, he may have hit some sort of, you could say, rookie wall. You know, even though he wasn't used a ton right away, I think maybe he's hitting that moment in where he's just kind of getting his feet under him. But those players always explode through the rookie wall. You know, players like Gibbs. Gibbs is a baller. So if he is hitting a rookie wall of some sorts, I bet it is a small one, 1 or 2 week one, you know. I don't think it'll be a 3 or 4 week rookie wall because he didn't get like overworked in the beginning of the year. So he probably is just hitting one. Sometimes it's a mental one. Even if like your body's not breaking down, like it's a long season for a rookie. It's like it's taxing. There's a lot of practice. There's a lot of reasons to get worn down.
Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying totally, and I think that at least in the coming week, I'm just afraid what Jacobs is going to give me because I need a win here, and I feel like Gibbs obviously has the more upside.
Well,
with Nico, like
you keep arguing against me with it, which I'm not saying is a problem. You can disagree with me; it's not a big deal at all. But I would say, based on the way you're pushing back with me over and over and over, you should not make this trade. You sound like you're going to be a worried William about it. And I'm not meaning that disrespectfully either. I'm just saying don't do this trade because I'm telling you to. Do it because you want to do it. And if you think Jacobs is the best thing since sliced bread going forward for the rest of this season, then you need to stick with him, bro.
No, I agree with you totally. I've always loved Gibbs. I love his explosiveness and his ability to make big plays. It kind of reminds me of Swift a little bit when he had those breakouts. But.
No, Swift.
Talking about a little bit old. So
I know. I'm just kidding with you. All right. Hey, Dylan, appreciate you. Trust your gut, bro. I don't think you should make this trade because you don't sound like you're going to be happy with it at all. Bro. You're going to be.
I'll let you know.
All right, later.
Thank you for the time.
Let's go over to Charles and then back to Rock Out. Or actually, let's go to Rock Out. He's been waiting patiently. Rock Out, what can I do for you? Hello? Rock Out?
Here?
Yeah, you sound like you're in a space shuttle. You got your phone in your armpit?
No.
Okay, what can I do for you, Rock Out?
Would you go Javonte or Keaton Mitchell? I keep going back and forth on it.
This one again, I think I'm gonna. God, I hope I'm at the front of a lot of winning this week, and not a lot of like son of a beast, Mitchell crap the bed. I'm getting an L.
Yeah.
That's fantasy football. You know, I want everybody to look me in the eye right now. Okay, you need to be okay with this. Okay, you need to be okay with this. It's risky. It's a risky game. But I'm going Mitchell in these questions. Javonte, you know, hasn't even shown much, and it's not his fault, but he hasn't gotten enough work to really be like, oh, yeah, you're going to regret this. I mean, you wouldn't even lose a wink of sleep if you didn't start Javonte and he had a good day because you didn't see it coming. Nobody did because they're using a 3-man committee there, and they don't even run him right. So let's just roll with the high upside guy, but I hope I'm at the front of a lot of winning and not losing because of this because it feels very risky, but it's a freaking smash of a home run potential.
And if one of Seattle running backs, would you play Mitchell?
Mute if you're on the phone. I don't know if that's Slayer, but whoever's talking, we can hear you. Just mute if you could. What'd you say, Rock Out?
And if any of the Seattle running backs play, you will play Mitchell with them?
Yes. Mitchell.
And then at my flex, would you play Reed or JSN or Javonte?
Reed, JSN, Javonte. I'm going to go with Reed because JSN's got a tough matchup. I think Gino's going to turn into a pumpkin. If he even plays, maybe he doesn't want to play because he's questionable. Maybe he doesn't want to play because he knows he's going to get blasted. He'll probably get hurt in this game. He's questionable going in, and going up against the Niners defense banged up is a recipe for getting injured. But that's just me. I could be wrong. You know how this thing goes.
Yep.
Cowboy defense is going to crush, and then they don't beat the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks.
That's wild.
Or they don't blast them, I mean. All right,
Hey,
hold on,
good
rock
luck
out.
to-
Charles, you got 30.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm the one who started Zeke last night, so
Attaboy.
but I have a question to ask you. So I have the Niners defense, but you were talking about the Dolphins defense against Will Levis, and then the Colts defense. Would you drop Kenneth Walker or James Cook for one of those defense, and which one?
Well, given you got the Niners defense, and to me they're a top 4 lock the rest of the way, you don't need a defense. There's no need for you to play matchups. I would just start the Niners defense. I mean, they're like a top 4 or 5 play this week.
Right.
Imagine if Geno doesn't even play. Like,
That's Drew Lock.
you don't want to try and play a matchup when you got a defense that feels like they're going to be they're going to go bonkers, bro.
Right. Okay.
Trust your gut, though.
Thanks, man.
All right. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate you, bro.
And
All right, Slayer, you got 30, pal. My boy.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? Quick question. I had to go pick up CEH before someone else did in both my leagues, but I got Keaton Mitchell, CEH, A-Chain, and of course Swift and Gainwell and McKinnon and Walker and Starr. Who do I play? I know A-Chain for sure, but I'm talking about Keaton Mitchell, CEH, or Swift. I didn't pick two. My bad.
Okay, so I'm going to start Swift and Mitchell, and then obviously
With the Mitchell.
with A-Chan.
A-Chain's flex. He's going for my flex. Yeah.
No,
Okay,
A-Chan's your running. No, A-Chan's your running back 1. Slayer.
Oh yes, he's my RB1.
You put him in that spot. You don't disrespect him putting him in the flex hole.
Yes, sir.
But
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
so
already in the playoffs.
he's in there.
Playoff.
You need 2 out of the remaining players, you said, right? So I go Swift and Mitchell pretty easily.
Okay, sweet. Appreciate it.
Yeah, later, bro. All right. Anything else, Travis and Rock Out, before I jump?
Yeah, real quick. So if you have DK, you just have to play him no matter what, though, and hope for the best, right? I mean, unless you're loaded.
I mean, if Geno's out and it's the Niners, I mean, I think like starting your studs, there's something to that. But if you got a borderline stud, he might be a better start.
If Geno's out, I'd be looking at like one of the Seattle backs if they play, Gerald Ford. I have Cooper Kupp in my flex right now. That's about it, though.
Sam again? Mitchell? Did you say
I have no. I have Cooper Kupp in my flex right now. Besides that, Jerome Ford, or one of the Seattle running backs, or Kincaid.
I'd probably play DK over those guys. 'Cause,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I figured.
you get the same matchup anyway, and yeah.
What's your feeling on like Cup and Waddle or Zay Flowers? Are they kind of stuck in the same group too?
Cup, Waddle, Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
Cup is, to me, a little bit higher than the other two. I think Waddle's probably higher than Zay, but I think Zay's lower, but a lot of expectation that he could be the best one of the 3. Like they're all pretty good. I just think I believe, I know everyone's going to try and associate Cup to Ekeler, but I think Cup's going to have a better chance of being great for 3-4 more games than Ekeler. I think Ekeler could still do it inconsistently. Like, he could have a big game, bad game, big game, and then mediocre game. I think Kupp could have big game, mediocre game, big game, big game. Or big game, mediocre game, big game, mediocre game, instead of Ekeler having a crappy game. I still think Kupp is a fantastic player to go get.
When it comes to DK, would you be trying to flip him? Like, would you rather have like Rashee Rice than DK or Waddle? Or are you still like DK over them too?
Yeah, I mean, DK just exploded. I just think we need Dino and no Niner matchup, and you'll be fine with DK.
Okay.
But like, would I trade him for? Would I trade him for Diggs right now? Absolutely. Like, if you could pull off give up DK and more for Diggs, I'd do that.
I have Diggs. Are there any other buy lows? I know.
Puka
is mostly over, but
Puka's not a. I mean, he's not necessarily a buy low, but for some reason, people are still doubting him, or they still worry about him. All right. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate you.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Smitty. Thanks.
Rock out. Last thought.
Yeah, you think it'd be like a bad game script for Purdy because they'll run a bunch?
I don't think we can predict that. I wish it was that easy, but it could be again 3 straight touchdown passes in the first quarter and a half. Just, because a lot of the stuff they do, it is a run. It's Deebo Samuel catching the ball at the line of scrimmage and going 60 yards to the end zone, and Brock Purdy threw it though. So I would not think about game script with the Niners. You cannot predict that.
Yeah, my other option was Love.
I mean, I like Purdy's a little bit safer this week, I think, and then we take it week to week. But I do like Love. You have good options. You have 2 amazing options. But I would start Purdy this week, I think.
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah, and the data across the industry suggests that Purdy is
like 7.
He's like 7, 8. Yeah, Love's like 9, 10. All right, later, bro.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Final 2 callers, and then the phone lines are clear. We might come back to do some drafting. Can't promise, but we might come back to do some drafting tonight. I think that it might make sense, too. Brandon from Minnesota, you got 30. I got to stick to the 30-second timer. Go.
Yo, Smitty. So, assuming Taysom Hill doesn't play this week, I got to pick up another tight end, and my options are Everett, Otten, Kraft, and like Conklin. I mean, that's really about it.
I guess Everett. I guess.
Okay.
Those are bad.
Yeah, I know.
Juwan Johnson. Juwan Johnson.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
yeah, he's available.
I can't guarantee he'll do, but at least you can wait until kickoff and then you can swap him.
Yeah, exactly. If they rule Taysom out, I can always put him in an IR. I always forget about that.
All right, bro.
All right, cool. Thanks,
Later.
man.
Sebastian, you're live.
Later.
30.
Hey, any of these guys that you like more than JSN? Because I lost all my receivers last week. Wicks, Hyatt, Wendell Robinson, Darius Slayton, or Guyton from the Chargers. Do you like any of those guys more than JSN right for this week?
This week, maybe Hyatt. But I like JSN more on the year, but this is a horrible matchup, and Geno's questionable. So if Geno plays, maybe it's even. But Hyatt's got a lot of upside, just going to be potentially a roller coaster, but he's got a lot of upside to appeal. But, push comes to shove, I probably would just shove JSN in there, but like this is not a bad play, this Hyatt play. But JSN's hard to trust this week. Hyatt's ranked about Hyatt, let's see. I don't even know if
Yeah, I lost to Watson and Tank Dell last week, and Garrett Wilson's my 1. So my receiving core is just completely shot.
Yeah. Hyatt's ranked about 50, and Jackson Smith and Jigba's about 37. So there's a big difference in the industry. I mean, JSN is the smarter play. I just think if Geno plays or doesn't play, he's ruled out. It's like even. Let's put it that way. And then you could go with the high upside guy and Hyatt. But, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, I think I just throw JSN in because he's JSN.
And then option at tight end, Jordan from the Texans, Jawan Johnson, Mayer, or Otten, or Likely?
Probably Likely.
Okay.
But it's really close, bro. I'm forcing an answer. It's really that close. All right, bro. Got to go.
I don't think I'm even going to win because I don't even have receivers this week.
Yeah. Well, good luck. I hope you do win. I got to go, bro. Appreciate you. I'll be back probably tonight to draft. All right, this last couple super chats. $10 holler from McFly guy. Appreciate you. $10 holler to the moon guy.
To the
Thank
moon.
you, pal. Smitty, do or die game. Let's see, game for 6 seed in a 12-man playoff. Who do I start? Wide receiver 2, Reed or Garrett Wilson? I'd probably go Reed by a hair. It's so hard to say Garrett Wilson, but have Devonta Smith and the wide receiver 1. Chat, can we get a vote for McFly?
Motion detected at the backyard.
McFly or vote for McFly. Garrett Wilson or Jaden Reed. I'm going to lean Jaden Reed by a hair. It's really, really tough to say that. I mean, Garrett Wilson does get a quarterback back that was feeding him pretty well, though. Maybe Garrett Wilson. McFly, can you bring that to me tomorrow night? Let me think about that and look into some stuff, too, because, I mean, as much as we hate Zach Wilson was feeding Garrett Wilson enough. We might want to revisit that one, but I think Reed's a little... I think if I had to decide now, Reed, if we don't talk tomorrow. Start 2 for the flex and running back, pick 2... Okay, pick 2. Start 2 for a flex and a running back. Okay. I'm going to go Ridley and CEH unless K9 is starting without Charbonnet. But Charbonnet seems more likely to play than Walker. So if Walker plays, they're sharing. I think I'd probably go CEH and Ridley. But that's a tough one. And then Travis with the final super chat of the night. Rank DK, Pittman, Debo, Nico, Puka, Cup. I'd probably say Debo, Puka. This is on the year. Debo, Puka, DK, Cup. Oh, Nico. I don't know. Travis, this is really hard. I mean, I think I'd rank it differently every time I do it. Debo, Puka, maybe Nico on the year, then DK. Probably DK, Nico, tied. Debo, Puka, DK, Nico. DK, Nico, and Cooper Kupp and Puka are all really tied, bro. Pittman's last, but I know everyone says I always hate Pittman, but this group is just too hard to rank. I'll just say this: if I had to pick 2 guys to stand out, it would be Debo and Puka. But like Nico is capable of being right there. Nico could be a top 10 wide receiver the rest of the way. He just has a tough matchup this week, but this is like a neck and neck ranking. So it's not a really easy one. Like I'd almost have to like really dig into some things. I don't think that's one that you should take that like it's gospel, that ranking, because like literally ask me tomorrow, my ranking might be totally different. I'll see you all tonight. We'll be drafting on Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Smitty. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty, where you get double your first deposit up to $100. Hit that link right now. I'm going to pin the link in the live chat on the way out the door. We probably, I can't guarantee it tonight. Tonight is kind of crazy, but I might be back to do some drafting on Underdog. So if you want to get in on those drafts, hit that link right now. The link's in the description of every video. Code Smitty still does the same thing. If you downloaded the app on your own, enter code Smitty when it asks you who you heard it from. Smitty, code Smitty, or just hit the link that I dropped that's pinned or in the description. Much easier. See you all later. Appreciate all my super chatters and everybody in here. Please like the video on the way out the door. Thank you. Call your boy Loud for the $20 hauler. Thank you all for all your super chats. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you.
He's Kyron, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Monday through Friday, like tonight, like this show. This is the Friday show, the 8 p.m. show on Friday. And then we're live whenever big news breaks. Also live after games, graveyard shifts, all kinds of streams. Appreciate you all. See you possibly tonight. Hit that promo code, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Links pinned in the live chat. Links in the description of every video, including this one. If you want to get in and draft with me, you got to sign up ahead of time. Do it live.